Hello, everybody. It's me, the comic book frog, back here with my green friend. Wait, are you wearing green face?
Now you've got me angry, Froggy.
You're wearing green face, you son of a
Let
bitch.
me tell you something, brother.
I'm not your brother, and you're wearing green face, you
Are
racist.
you my mother?
I'm your daddy.
Oh no. Hey, no. Okay,
So
let's
we're
get
back.
back to.
Yes, we're back for another exciting review because of a show that's not exciting. This is a review for She-Hulk episode 7. I forgot
Two
what the name.
episodes left.
Yeah, I forgot what the name of
Two.
this episode is, but who cares? Because
Nobody cares. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and start out with how I've started out the past few episodes. This episode, while it's not as bad as the previous ones, still feels like nothing. Oh my gosh, I have wasted less time sleeping. And I sleep for long amounts of time for a puppet. Trust me. And so going and sitting down each week for this, it's a chore. And I know some people are saying, oh, but this episode's good. It's passable, I guess. It's okay, but there's nothing good about it. I didn't find anything about it funny. I didn't. I mean, yeah, Abomination, his actor is having fun. But other than that, this show is just a chore to sit through for 2 minutes of a hint of a plot at the end of the episode.
And I want to point out that you're just a little whiny bitch. It is not a
like your mother.
Wow. Then be fighting words. I'll be throwing you through a stream.
Go ahead.
No,
try.
No,
apparently this month is.
I want to point out that this episode was boring, but it wasn't offensively boring.
There you go.
There are other shows that I could have watched that I probably would not be here to talk about because I'd be dead.
They would have killed you?
They would have drove me to, yes.
Which one?
Well, as I pointed out behind stage, any of the Lord of the Rings new shows or the House of the Dragon.
Well, that's because you have no taste, but let's go on with
or maybe I'm just not into those shows. I'm not saying those are bad shows. I'm just saying.
Oh, well, it did sound like you were saying.
All I'm saying is that shows can be objectively bad, depending on the viewer. But we both agree that this show should be so much better, but instead, it's either insulting the audience or it's just plain boring. It is a filler episodes. It's a filler TV show. All it is basically a nod to say, hey, we're setting up Blade. Hey, we're setting up the Fantastic Four.
Daredevil.
Hey, and Daredevil as well. That's all it is. Daredevil hasn't appeared in one single episode. We're in episode 7 with 2 episodes left. This is horrible. And I just noticed that my microphone was nowhere near me. I apologize. I had to go. Much better.
Well, you didn't want to get it wet.
Well, it is deep in the pond. So I had to... Anyway, so this episode, let's get it over with because we'll probably get this reviewed done faster than it took for me to watch this episode, which usually a 30-minute episode turned out to be an hour.
Yes, there are some Easter eggs that we can go ahead and talk about. Yes,
it starts off with this, a text from Josh. And Josh, and this is creepy about Josh, and we'll come back to this later, and talk about it, but Josh he basically says, hey, what's your address? Or I guess I could drive around the neighborhood and scream your name. And she says, how do you know what neighborhood I live in? And then he says, be right back, gonna drive around in LA. So right here, right off the bat, many of you probably don't know this. They're like, well, that's kind of just kind of normal. I mean, not really. I mean, it seems innocent and cute. Whatever. We'll get back to that.
It does.
Now we get to basically my favorite part of the show, where she's watching something better than this actual show.
Yes.
Muppet Caper.
Great Muppet Caper. I mean, I can say a lot about Jen or this show, but she has taste.
So, as she's sitting here, she's waiting for a text from Josh, who's basically, after she went a couple dates with Josh, like 3 or 4 times, and then
He disappeared.
she finally sleeps with him, and then he ghosts her. So finally, on Sunday, she gets a call while she's watching this from the parole officer for Emo Blonsky, basically saying his inhibitor that keeps him from turning into Abomination is basically glitching. So she basically agrees to go up there, and the guy's basically like, well, since I don't have access to the police and all that stuff, can you come up there? She-Hulk can protect me. So she reluctantly goes. There, she basically stops. She pulls in the gateway behind the guy, and then her car is pretty much attacked by a man bull. Yes, he's a weird lab experiment. Don't ask. And then we get Agilia. You can pronounce it. I'm butchering it either way.
Agilia, something like that.
So
I don't know.
So first glance, if you've never heard of these characters, you're kind of like, if you're a normie, you don't read comic books, you're like, all right, these are just normal people, I guess. Just weird characters. No, they're actually real characters.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that doesn't make them less weird, Froggy.
Well, I'm just saying, these are the better version of the comic books. We got this.
Hey man, it's me, Man Bull.
Yes.
I'm working through my anger issues.
I thought this was a Geico commercial.
Oh my gosh, it does look like a Geico commercial, but the difference is that a Geico commercial would have been funny.
So later on, basically, because there's no cell service whatsoever, and Emil Blonsky says, he was chasing his favorite chicken princess, he hit an electric fence, which caused his device to basically malfunction, so now it's fixed. Jen stuck there because her car, she can't get a tow truck till later that afternoon, that day. So she's stuck there with there's no reception, he has no Wi-Fi.
So how did they get a call?
That's what I don't know. Maybe he has some kind of landline somewhere, and he just wouldn't let her use it. I don't know.
Or a phone book to search up the.
Maybe they sent one of their Amish people to go.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I don't know. Anyway, so we get here basically. She basically joins the support group, here. Doesn't really join it, but she's forced to. She walks in there because it's one bar signal. We're introduced to some characters. They're having a group section there. It's a therapy section for people. They're basically who've been misjudged or misguided or just need help. We're introduced first on the left as Saracen. Saracen, we'll get to him in a second. Saracen. It's a weird name. He's ancient. Who cares?
He does.
The guy on the right is Porcupine. Yes, he's a real villain. Yes, he fought against the Ant-Man and the Wasp, but also fought against the Fantastic Four as well.
And your mother.
So getting back to your daddy, Saracen.
My daddy?
He thinks he's a vampire and he likes blood.
I really take after him looks-wise, I think.
Well, you both like to suck.
Oh, that's a different kind of suck.
Saracen,
but there is blood flowing.
So Saracen is important because this is what the show likes to do. Like you said, they like to give nods to upcoming movies and shows. Obviously, the Fantastic Four and Ant-Man and the Wasp and stuff. Saracen first appeared back in 1999 in this issue of Blade. So if you want to learn more about him, he's an ancient vampire, one of Blade's enemies. Some people are also speculating because there's also a Saracen character who basically is an assassin mercenary, an enemy of Frank Castle, the Punisher. They're two different characters. All right. But a guy who also shows up there. That's right, this son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's Wrecker of the Wrecking Crew.
I thought it was that Joey guy, the guy from NSYNC at first.
Yeah. Joey Fatone?
That little mustache and the thing. He's got the stupid grin on his face. Stupid look.
Don't insult Joey Fatone like that.
Fatone. He's Italian.
It's Joey Fatone.
Yes. So then we get, so here's another shot of these guys here. And as they're talking stuff, they're talking about, about reason he ghosted you because he just was into you because and then what did you say to him? She's like, well, she texted him more, being a desperate person. She's upset because it's the first guy actually liked Jen and not She-Hulk, and she's all bummed out about that. So basically, make
like Jen.
So Zarison points out a thing. Well, so makes a joke. Well, maybe he wanted your blood, and I was like, dude, that's girls. Why would you say that?
Dun, dun.
Yes. All right. And then, so basically, after having a revelation, she deletes Josh's numbers at the encouragement of the group. She goes in the sauna, the meditation sauna. She comes back out. Jen's getting ready to leave at the end of the episode. Yes, Dan's not towing truck. No. A guy named Dan is the truck driver of the towing truck from Slot Towing. So I had to look it up because I know Dan Slot is a piece of shit that's going to run a brand about. He's awesome. Yes, and he does this. He brags about how this in the MCU, Donald Glover's character lives in a street named after me. There's also a street in Venice named after an Italian version of me. It's probably better than you. And the driver's holding up a sign for me while he's waiting at the JFK. My family owns a drywall construction company, and I've got a Joe truck.
I'm going to have to say, Marania, I know she's not in the audience. I guess she's not here tonight. That is fine. But she said something about the truck driver looking like a version of Dan Slott. Absolutely not. If he was trying to look like Dan Slott, he wouldn't have hair, and he would look grosser.
We also know he wouldn't be able to fit behind the steering wheel.
Oh
no! But next, if I get another tweet from Dan Slott saying, you know what, I saw this thing, this person eating pizza. Yeah, I like pizza too, so that's what they're referencing me because I am a fat bastard.
Well, they are referencing him here.
Yes, I know. Because just like Dan Slott, this show is horrible. Thank you very much. All right.
He'll be here all week.
Yes. Unfortunately. You never let me leave.
We don't let you leave. That's right.
All right. And the other thing, the final thing of the show.
The big one.
Remember that tweet I told you about how Josh saying, basically asked, how do you know my neighborhood? He was a plant this whole entire time. That's right. Yep. Not even people like Jen. People don't like She-Hulk. People don't like Jen.
Oh, jeez. Well, you don't have to put it like that. Basically just stealing the blood for Hulk King here. I did hear another interesting theory, though, actually, that maybe, and I don't know if this has any merit to it, but Abomination is actually a secret mastermind all along, and that
he actually was part of the group.
Yeah, and the villains that he has around him, they are basically going to be a part of a supervillain team to take down She-Hulk.
Why were they not? Because Abomination was part of the actual intelligentsia.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yes,
I have doubts that they would do it.
But this show, though, you think they wouldn't go that far? They're like, oh, they're clever. You thought they were friends. Even though at the end he says, he got the card, it's from the gang, but yeah, she's like, wait, he's like, makes a joke about, but make sure the pro officer don't realize we're not a gang.
Not a real gang.
Like I said, I think Emil Blonsky actually is going to turn out to be the big baddie at the end.
You have more faith than I do. But
no, I'm just saying about how crappy they made it. If they actually did not have him be the bad guy, and it's not, because remember we have 2 more episodes. This show, we know the writers are not that great. All they can do is basically hey, we know things, about certain things.
They know Megan Thee Stallion. That's what they know.
Yes.
And sadly, we know her too.
So that's it for our show. We got done faster than this crappy episode. And if you're not entertained by this, go watch Paint Dry, okay? Maybe we can start on that.
Because I don't know.
I'm done trying to please people who like this show.
I don't understand liking this show. I really don't. I legitimately think that in the entire approach of She-Hulk, they have managed to make it almost unwatchable.
The only
And
thing
it's
good about
very
this
sad.
show,
And I don't want people to get mixed up because there are channels that are targeting, oh, look at this, the MCU in full force. No, screw that. It's not because of She-Hulk being a She-Hulk. It's because it's just written so damn horribly. Oh, we talked about Miss Marvel. We loved that. WandaVision, actually, we didn't talk about that, but I did love it. And you know, when we're watching these shows about characters, oh, that reminds me, Moon Knight, Silver Scarab, that's her name. She was great. We loved her too. But I'm sorry, I have to pull receipts. But that's what you have to do in society now. We live in a puppet society, and it sucks.
wait. We live in a puppet society. It
We live
sucks.
in a puppet society.
You traitor!
I'm sorry. I have to call out our own society, Froggy. I understand we're puppets.
Go back to your bridge, troll.
I will. But we want to thank you first. Please make sure to go watch those silly humans. They're going to be on in 10 minutes talking about some comic issue. Facing Black Adam, the JSA. Sounds cool. Maybe I'll stick around and watch. But after that, there's a comic book reading at 8:15 EST. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have a lot of fun. But that's it from us for now. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Austin P, you're the puppet that showed up.
Don't call us out. Good night.